Yeah.
So Battle Buddies first, we had an awesome little road trip there. We ended up naming it as a mission Bobcat. What do we call it? Bobcat Sprint. Is it a quick, referring to the quick nature of our deployment, and that we were going to Bobcat territory, as in Bozeman, Montana.
Like football, is that football thing? Bobcat.
It's the state mascot. Is it state university? So I guess it is football. I don't know. I just needed a clever name for a social media post, so we came up with a name for the operation that Ed wouldn't object to, right? Yeah, we did Las Vegas for Veterans Day. Ed, I think I'd like to ask you to tell the story. Well, two stories. I mean, we had two really awesome positive stops. The first one being Mike's organization, name
Charlie Mike Foundation.
Charlie Mike Continue Mission. So great meeting, really cool conversation, great, relatively small. I mean, 15-ish people, 20 maybe all together, you know, but as a networking event, just for us, really powerful, and I think helping us form the vision and seeing how our organization fits into the existing network of veteran services and everything else. You want to tell the story?
Seeing how others do it, basically.
Yeah.
Tell the story. You basically told the story. I mean, we went to the man's business where he was working the Charlie Mike Foundation out of his personal business area. And for the gathering, he named it Caffeinate and Collaborate. And he invited area people from, there was a lady from
the Red Cross,
the state, a lady from the Red Cross. It was married to the guy that was running the veterans thing at the college, and I mean,
and the leader of the student crew.
Yeah, the leaders,
and a couple random veterans who showed up on their own.
People that were from the
area. We were looking to start something else.
It was good,
and a few other similar organizations represented.
Yeah, we just kind of hashed out this and that and talked out a few things, and it was good. It was good meeting people and being able to share.
Well, it felt like as a part of our general networking efforts with Homefront Battle Buddies, very important to be introducing ourselves to these other groups in the network. And one of the epiphanies I had out of that, aside from so many within our mission and organization, that what we do at the periphery is going to be just as important as what we do with people we take in.
Right.
A lot of it in terms of yeah, well, maybe, but resources.
We need to provide them with
individual veterans or veterans who come through our 1 week course, what we can connect them with afterwards, or where we send people that we can't handle. And for the, I mean, jumping ahead to the suicide prevention.
Exactly.
But we're not trying to be, we're not pretending that we're more than we are here in terms of being mental health experts. Like, we're capable. No, if you're having a fucking breakdown, we're going to send you somewhere else. If you're suicidal, we're going to love you and identify you, and we're going to send you somewhere else. You know, like, we're not pretending to be capable of that serious next level mental health intervention. That's not what we're doing here.
Exactly.
So that networking is so important.
Exactly. That was the first thing I did after we got back. When we were there, they gave us as one of the class handouts in the course that we attended, which
Safe Talk.
Which was,
we'll come back. We'll get to that.
Okay, we'll get to that. The handout they gave us was for the crisis line and this and that, all these different things, but they were for Montana.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did when I got back is I pulled that out and I started looking up everything that was available to me in each genre and start filling in numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
So that we would have a place where we could take people that are beyond our technique.
Comprehensively fill our niche as well. And you want to
just beyond us.
Yeah.
We need to be able to know exactly where to take them. So like if Adam went off and we had to tie him up, I know exactly where to take him in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Stuff's important. Or if he looks at any of my notes, he'll know where to take him.
Just as likely. All right, so Ed,
or even more, actually. I'm the alcoholic, remember?
Next exciting point on the tour.
Yeah.
American Legion Post 10 in very near downtown. Not quite in.
Buddy.
Very near downtown Las Vegas, Nevada, with a mural of what?
Right.
Michelle and Barack Obama on the side. Why would they have that, Ed?
Because they were
it was an all-black American Legion.
They were still fans. When we got in,
when we walked in, there were 30-ish dudes, a couple chicks. It was a bartender, was a woman, and you were the only Hispanic, and I was the only white dude, at least by appearance. Not presuming shit, but like that, it was a fucking movie scene.
I sit down at the bar and I look over, and the gentleman and his lady sitting at the bar next to me, she's got a plastic purse with Obama and Michelle at the White House printed on it. I mean, it was, the whole thing was printed photograph purse.
Wow.
Sitting on the bar.
Wow.
Oh man.
Now I want to say something to the credibility of the spirit of this particular institution, because I shared a photo that when I saw this, I was so compelled to take a picture of myself with it.
Yeah.
And I'm pulling it up now on the Homefront Battle Buddies channel, scrolling back a few days, and I even took the time to take a picture of the Legion from outside and combine it with a picture of me standing next to this poster.
Right.
And it's a Malcolm X quote. You cannot be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does or says it.
Word.
And I even told the doorman who bought me a drink.
Right.
As I was taking that picture, you put this on the wall. No other disagreement we have here matters. This is the universal principle of wrong is wrong and right is right, and it transcends politics. And most of the guys that were all, I mean, not all, but like any Legion, 70 to 80% vets, a few civilians in the crowd.
Right.
But yeah, we were welcomed. They bought us drinks, brought us outside to smoke a blunt before we could even really get into it too much. Spoke to the post commander, got connected to their veteran service officer, and they hopefully will be visiting us when that group, as the Legion, does. They're doing like an Arizona camping field trip or something. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? I really hope that connects.
Oh, talk about photo op. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Well, don't make it about. Why you got to make everything about race, Ed?
Yeah.
The photo op, just because the
photo opportunity for us to show hospitality to
absolutely
great.
No, to have any Legion group come out here, but the racial dynamic was fun, and it was fun because it was so relevant to their identity and the scene, and then was so irrelevant to veterans.
It started out feeling like Animal House.
Well, see, Ed, I'm gonna tell on Ed for something here. Ed, what did you? Ed was like, Ed said something on the way in that was like, I got a funny feeling about this. I'm not gonna get specifics. I don't want to. I know you're not racist,
no,
but it was like, I don't know what we're walking into here. You should.
Can we dance with your dates?
Yeah, right. Great Animal
All
House
this goes through my mind, but I know it's not going to be like that.
All right, so
we're veterans.
We got a bunch of other stops on the tour like that were a lot of fun. But let's jump ahead to the training and kind of wrap it up with that, and then we're gonna talk about all the Pugil sticks brainstorming. But the suicide prevention training,
suicide alertness.
Yeah, training. It was
okay, and I've been learning that prevention isn't the word to use; it's suicide intervention. Okay, which I find more friendly. I really do. Prevention is more forceful, whereas intervention is where you really care enough to where you will ask someone that you suspect, even a little bit. I kind of noticed this. You're not thinking about suicide or anything like that, are you? It's not it's not
Are you thinking about suicide?
right.
Are you thinking about suicide? Are you thinking about suicide? Don't be afraid to fucking ask.
Right,
You can be
right.
rude, but you don't want
Yeah.
to not ask when you should have asked. So that, if I may,
Go ahead.
that was really the crux of the training. 4 hours, focus on giving people the confidence to say,
Cool.
"Hey, are you thinking about suicide?" And it's sort of three elements: knowing when to look for it, knowing how to say it, knowing how to follow through. And the follow through is usually a handoff.
Right.
It's a responsible handoff. And there, I don't think we're gonna take this time to
No.
get into the methodology, but
Right.
Safe Talk
Right.
has an online course. It's like a part one leading up to this being the part two. Ed is going to go on and do part three, the 2-day
Right.
extensive, which is really a whole other level of training. But this, I think we can share in 30 seconds right now and say, look, if you see signs, if you see someone who's depressed, having trouble in life, err on this. That's step one. Be on the lookout for people who are suffering. Two, err on the side of intervening. And if it's bad, don't be afraid to go straight to using the word suicide. Are you thinking about suicide? Are you thinking about suicide? Are you thinking about suicide? And if because people who will say yes are begging for you to intervene.
Yes.
And step three is just the responsible handoff and the follow through and being there. And again, we could break this down for the hours of the training and talk about the relevance of veterans. But it's say part two, in order to say, are you thinking about suicide? All you have to know is that you can hand someone off. If they don't, be afraid of someone saying yes. Be grateful for the opportunity to intervene and hand them off to someone who can handle that. And it might not be that, oh, I have the number. I'm not organized. I don't know the national. Doesn't fucking matter. You can hand it. I've identified this person as needing this help right now.
He has said
I'm going to go to my dad. I'm going to go to my mom. I'm going to go to my teacher, whoever the fuck it is in your life. You go up the chain to get that person to help. And it's as simple as that. That's really Ed, fair breakdown. That's the whole thing. Right?
It was the biggest bust of my incorrect assumption that just it changed me. I mean, it literally changed me, my whole attitude towards suicide, period. Okay. Was learning that all of the research points to that use of the word suicide does not make them do it more.
Yes, that's very important. Yes,
you will
never.
It's more of blatant. Are you? And you'll get a reaction. Probably 3 different reactions, basically.
No, I'm glad you brought this up, because this was an important foundational thing for me too in this training. That because everybody wants. Could I make it worse? Am I going to provoke somebody? Am I going to make them more depressed? No. You this is the data has backed this up. You will never make things worse by asking. I mean, you might piss someone off mildly. You might make them look at you sideways. But if they're really suffering and you are intervening out of love, you will never introduce the idea to someone. You will never provoke them to suicide or make them more likely to commit suicide by asking that question. So fucking ask.
Now, they also told us the information that we shouldn't be sharing with people who think about suicide. And I won't go into those things now, and they gave us really good reasons.
Get the training.
So
it's everybody who's involved with people who cares.
Connect with me. I'll get
look up Safe Talk. Look up, but if you can't find it, edit thefreedomline.com.
But I will.
Or HOMEFRONT BATTLE BUDDIES @gmail.com.
I've pledged to take every suicide intervention course on the planet I can get a hold of and find out what's missing, and then start providing that.
So as much for the trip itself and what it means for us to be able to check that box and have that training. And it literally, it's not just, oh, I checked the box, I got the refresher or whatever. No, I really do feel better about hosting veterans here now.
Yeah.
I feel better about being an organizer of people or being a host of people or events out here. But certainly for retreats, for hosting people through challenging life situations, as my personal backstop as a host here, I feel a lot better with this training.
I feel a whole lot better knowing that I'm going to be answering the phone, and I never know who's going to. what they're going to be called for.
Yeah.
You know, I got to be prepared for everything.
Yeah, and that gets back to what we do around the periphery, people who come our way. I guess if someone says yes, I'm suicidal, well, you're not in the Homefront Battle Buddies program anymore. We're handing you off to professionals.
Yeah.
You know, we're putting you in a situation where that's the focus, and you are taken care of properly, and that's an important organizational thing for us to have figured out the protocol. Speaking of figuring out protocol, we are not exactly sure how we are going to incorporate Pugil sticks into Homefront Battle Buddies, but we are. Fuck yeah, we are now. There's no way we're avoiding this one.
Enough intellectualism. Adam, what's the
yes. No. If you don't know what Pugil sticks are, quick explanation. This was something that was invented early 20th century by someone with the U.S. military as a military training tool for training close combat with a rifle and a bayonet, and stabbing people or hitting them with a butt stroke and killing them. But in a training environment for the military where, and you know this, what is the actual injury risk of military training in most situations is very low. They don't want you to risk injury. They want you to train hard. They want you to push yourself. They want you to skin your knees.
We want you to break in training.
Okay? Well,
okay, but so they try even harder to try and break you in training.
No, in boot camp, yes.
That was my, you know, Adam and I had different experiences, and we were in at different times. I was the last cycle of basic combat training, okay? And the Army, you know, they played with Pugil sticks, like that. They put two companies in a big circle and say, okay, last guy in is the winner, you know? And it's usually the big guy.
We're not going to debate the context of training in Pugil sticks historically, but suffice to say, in terms of all the combat sports, boxing, MMA, things of that nature,
this looks like fun.
Rugby, even, it is lower injury risk.
Yeah.
And if you do it with a helmet, and you do it with padded sticks, you do it in a proper arena, you do it with elbow pads.
Just right.
When we did it in the Marine Corps, so to your point, the boot camp experience that I had of do we break you is more psychological and endurance. It's not we want you to injure yourself with Pugil sticks. Pugil sticks is done. If you have a mouth guard, everybody's got to wear a mouth guard. They really don't want you to. By the time you get to the Pugil sticks part of boot camp, anyway. And they do it in Marine combat training. They do it in advanced infantry training. They don't do it in like for the guys in supply as much, you know. But everybody gets a taste of it in Marine Corps boot camp. Then you might have also heard of it or seen of it. That makes sense. Write that down, Ombudsman. American Gladiators. They have two dudes on podiums, on pedestals, trying to knock each other off into, you know, padded whatever. And so we're going to be doing a combination of all of that. I'm really excited now because I've got a tangible plan, and part of this is in the spring, maybe March, early, you know, or mid late March here, early spring, for Arizona mountains. We want to have a tournament out here, and we're putting together the vision to build a Thunderdome like the geodesic domes that we've built here already, wrapping it with some pool noodles and appropriate safety gear so you can actually bounce into the dome while doing Pugil stick fights. We're going to build some platforms. One of the fun things the Marine Corps does is like a sidewalk competition where you start on opposite sides of the sidewalk, or it's just a raised wooden rectangle platform deck, you know, and it's first one to knock the other off. We're going to do the pedestals, do some American Gladiator stuff, and had some really cool, crazy arena. We're going to do a first draft or a first working model of this, and if it's popular, and we're going to do videos, we're going to have fun with this. Then we raise the money, we build the Pugil Sticks Arena, or the Homefront Battle Buddies Combat Sports Arena, whatever. Anyway, there's so much fun ideas for building out, and that I just want to throw that out. Anybody wants to come out here as interns, anybody wants to sponsor that, I'll make it happen now. You want me to buy the materials to build the sticks, to buy the appropriate safety gear? You need a bunch of different sizes of helmets for really hosting guests in this. You know, elbow pads, knee pads. I'm just laying the scope of this, but the dome I can build for like $1,000 worth of materials with equipment and tools we already have here, and you know, 2 dudes, 2 days work, we can put together like a 40-foot, really cool arena Thunderdome for this thing. Anyway, fun stuff to look forward to. HomefrontBattleBuddies.org. If you want to come out right now in the intern phase, We need people who can help build. We need donors. We need awesome volunteers like Scotty, or Scott McLaren. You can look him up, Scotty Mack on YouTube. Scott from Seligman doing some awesome work digging this hole, and we're barely going to be ready for him in time. Big other call. I got to remind people of this. We need a box truck or a big trailer like ASAP. This really has to, we need to reprioritize this, because we were gifted the opportunity to pick a giant pile of tires that will give us enough to do, really just enough to do the gym. Probably not a lot more than that. Maybe we vary the size. We'll have enough to do the greenhouse also with that pile.
Right.
But we need to go do this now while this opportunity is there for us. So if anybody
about
can,
35 miles away from it, right?
Yeah, if no one can donate or volunteer or loan us a box truck or large trailer with that carrying capacity, we're just gonna rent a moving truck for the day and figure out. We still need some manpower, volunteer help to be able to knock this out in a day and not have to pay for more than one day's rental. Hopefully we can do it like 3 or 4 trips in a day, maybe.
Right.
But even bigger picture, there's a box truck for sale that I would love to own for $6,500 on Craigslist in Prescott. If someone wants to buy us one, we could sell it later. I would love to have one for like this 3 or 4 month period of salvage, scavenging, collecting tires, other building materials. It would be so huge for the organization right now.
I also told Adam that I have a pretty good sized pile of building materials over at my place in Winslow. And since I've relocated over here and shifted my focus on Homefront Battle Buddies and trying to find land around here to put my wife on, my Winslow venture seems to be a little bit more in the back burner. We could really use the materials here.
Being able to move that without the 100 pickup truck loads that Ed did it as would be nice.
I put 60,000 miles on my little 4-cylinder Nissan hardbody, moving everything from Phoenix, Arizona, 3.5 miles up into Winslow. And I got it all over there underneath pallets. And I mean, I got a lot. I'd really like to get it over here and start doing something with it. Over there, I was hoping to do something with it, but Adam has a big jump on me in that he was on his land for 5 years. He was able to build a lot of stuff on his, where I got bare land with a shotgun shack, and I was able to make 2 roads on it. You know? That's all I got.
It's a nice self-sustaining bug out spot and camp out, but we're building something here.
It's a future project, but I need the building material over here, and there's so much building material out there that we could really bring in here and use, and would save us a lot of money. So,
Ed, you really screwed up at the end there.
What?
Because I was going to forget all about the truck. I wasn't going to mention it. I literally had forgotten about the essence of that to our story, and we're 20 minutes over our 2 hours goal. But now that since you mentioned the pickup truck, I got to tell the story of the Nissan hardbody that we drove. What is this thing? What year?
96. Yeah.
96
Nissan 4-cylinder hardbody pickup.
And it is badass how much value Ed has been able to squeeze out of this little fuel efficient pickup truck. However, Ed, how many functional elements is this vehicle missing?
About 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say he can't say, but yeah, about 9. 9 is fair.
Okay. It was 12 degrees in Winslow, Arizona. I went to get something out of the passenger door, and the plastic handle come off right away. Okay? I've been so busy. That was months and months ago. I've been so busy. I got the handle. I just hadn't been able to replace it.
The door.
A strap on it with a winch, winched over to the seat so that it holds the door shut. And we had to unwinch it, let him out, and put that in and winch it again every time we had to open the door. It just, I knew it. You know, I had a rental car set up in Las Vegas, okay? And Enterprise, I'm coming for you, people. Okay.
So this is Babylon. We didn't get back to the leaving Babylon thing, but hey, your vehicle choices will never be perfect on this principled count, but they are very important. And Ed, I was with you on the plan. We miscalculated in having too much confidence in Babylon right now.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. And this, back to the message that I've said before on the show that Babylon is crumbling. Whether it's falling or not, we don't know. Maybe a separate phenomena, but it's at least crumbling. And we all need to lower our expectations of institutions, of major corporations, of government, and of each other for the people who are in those customer service positions. And Ed had to deal with how many people with enterprise. Yeah, right. And that's like, yeah, if you're tied into Babylon, maybe it'll take care of you to a point if you're willing to pay that price. I would rather spend the night in Bozeman, Montana, sitting upright because they didn't have any motel rooms because there was a football game and freeze in the little Nissan hardbody pickup truck than be tied into Babylon. But it was
I laid on the ground up against the church.
Made me feel like I was back in the Marines, Ed. So thank you for that interesting little logistical hardship experience. And then when we got back to finish the truck story, while we were at local thrift shop / food bank / package receiving center / awesome little community joint Whatnots in Ashford, and we were poking around Whatnots, as in KNOTS. Ed happened to spy a perfect little gift to sum up the trip that I didn't even notice. There was a little model ship with an actual Jolly Roger on the top flag that he bought for me just to be like, you got your pirate ship now. And I named it, we were going to call it the Nissan. We changed it. I wrote it in Sharpie, so it's permanent now. It is the hard body. The hard body is Captain Freebeard's pirate ship. And with that, we got to wrap up the show, but we're going to hit all of our points. Joey, what other news stories did you want to make sure we cover today? We also have to get to end on a very positive note of an eclipse.